Craig McLean and welcome to episode 26 of the Mk1 Escort Tyres 2000 reassembly. This is the big one. This is the one I've been really looking forward to, as I know a lot of you guys have as well. As you can probably tell, as I record this intro, the car is already down on its wheels. But yeah, this is the episode where the car finally goes down on its Image RS Split rims. So let's get them unboxed, and I hope you love them as much as I certainly do. Massive day today. We've had the delivery I've been waiting for well, 12-13 weeks now. I'm absolutely chuffed that they're finally here. I have been a little bit impatient. It's Friday today and these weren't due to be delivered until Monday. So I've been watching the tracker and I've been constantly watching it, probably refreshing it every 15 minutes. And in the end I decided, you know what, after a couple of phone calls, thanks to the wife Yasmin, found out that they were in the depot at Carlisle, which is an hour away from us. So that's exactly where we've just been, an hour there, an hour and back, and we've picked up the Image wheels. So let's get them unboxed. So happy with them. I really can't tell you how absolutely over the moon I am with them. They look absolutely amazing, and you just know the quality with Image is unbelievable. These wheels will be on this car for as long as I'm alive. I would say the thing with Image they're a bit of a tart wheel. They're only for good weather. If you use them in all weathers and the alloy gets wet, if you don't keep on top of them, they will corrode. You've got to keep this polished surface really polished up. But as you've seen with the Mini, I really look after stuff. So I've got no issues with these ever corroding. So yeah, next thing is I'm going to go and get tyres on. So let's get cracking. And here we are, all ready for fitment. Tyre shined, cleaned up. There's the valves fitted I was talking about, same as I've got on the Mini. So they're now ready to fit on the car. So thanks to Smart Tyre for fitting them. I generally use them to fit most of my tyres because they do part ones at Smart Tyre. And by part ones I mean they'd be lucky if they've got a mil or two off them, and I buy them there all the time because you can get top brands for cheaper than what you can buy a cheap brand. Obviously these tyres are brand new. I wasn't going to put part ones on the Escort, but for my everyday cars I always put the part ones on. So anyways, tomorrow it's forecast to be absolutely red hot, so you know exactly what's happening. The Escort's getting pulled outside and it's getting lowered onto these wheels for the first time. I'm really looking forward to it. I just hope we have no catching and they look like I'm hoping. And if you're wondering where the fourth wheel is, it's bolted to the back of the car. But I'm not going to show you that right now. I'll let you see it outside tomorrow. So sun's not out yet. It's trying to burn through, but it's big wheel fitting day. So it's time to get the Escort out. And let's make a start on some of the preparation jobs required to get these wheels on today. Well guys, it's a glorious day as predicted. And the first job is now out the way. I've now cut down and fitted the 16 metric studs. That's done all the way around, front and back. So now they are cut down to the perfect length so that we get maximum threads inside them long nuts. So that's done. We're ready now to jack the car up. I can actually fit the back wheels. I've already fitted the one on this side. So I can actually fit the back wheels, but I can't fit the front wheels just yet because the bar is in the way on the frame. So yeah, we'll get jacked up and we'll get the wheels on. But yeah, we're getting there. We've had a little bit of a death today. The angle grinder that I've had for many years, that I've done the full Escort project with, mini project and loads of other stuff, has burned out. I put new brushes in it and it was smoking like a bugger. That's now dead, so I need a new angle grinder. I had to cut the last studs with a hacksaw, so that was a bit of a task. Anyways, let's crack on, get it jacked up and get the wheels on. Can't wait. Well guys, I've got to say, I am absolutely in love with it. I was a bit concerned yesterday when I got the wheels. I put one on in the garage and I wasn't 100% sure about how it looked, simply because it was up in the air. I couldn't get the wheel compressed into the arch enough, and you just can't see properly in a garage, you're too close. But now I've got it outside and I've got it down on its wheels and I've got the stance somewhere near. It's not right yet, but it's getting there. I'm absolutely in love with it. It has got a couple of issues that I'll go into in a second. The main one being the front wheels catching, which I had a feeling they were going to anyways, because the 13s did at times. So the issue we've got is, on full lock, we catch here, and on the other full lock the other way, we catch here. Now we can get most of the lock, just not full lock. And I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make spaces to limit the amount of travel in the rack. But you've got to be really careful because you don't want to make it dangerous. So I need to make sure I've got plenty of turn to get out of any situation, so it's safe, but at the same time limit the amount of travel so that we don't catch the arches. The back ones are fine. I think everything's settling in on the back, because at first it looked like a monster truck, and as it's sat over time, it is starting to lower itself into the arches somewhere near where it wants to be. So yeah, we're definitely getting there. I do absolutely love it. I've been waiting for this moment for a good while, and now we're here. You know, it's amazing to see it down on its wheels. I've never seen it down on its wheels the whole time I've had it. So yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed to bits, guys. I really am. I just need to get over these couple of hurdles. I'll have a crack with a couple of people in the know, because like I keep telling you, I'm not the expert. There's people that have been doing these builds a lot longer than I have. So I'll probably have a crack with the GS Escort lads about what they normally do to prevent catching on the front wheels. But that's my idea, is to limit the travel. So yeah, absolutely chuffed to bits with that. I really am. It's a massive, massive step today. A massive, massive step in the build to see it looking like this. And it's getting some pile of looks as people are going by. I've had a few people stopping and they're absolutely amazed with it. Image wheels. Well, I don't know what I can say about them. They're absolutely fantastic. And what I will say about them as well, although these wheels have took 12 weeks and they're supposed to take 10, the customer service from Kirsty in particular at Image Wheels is absolutely outstanding. Every day to 2 days she would send me an email, saying this has been machined, it's going on to this step next, this has been machined, it's going on to this step next, etc, etc. And she'd give me an update every day or so. I never ever had to badger them to say where they're at. She constantly updated me, and she kept apologising about the wait, and they even threw me a set of lock and wheel nuts in for the inconvenience. But I really can't complain at their customer service. It's absolutely fantastic. So although I've waited 2 weeks longer, I'm super pleased with them. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, guys. So as I was saying before, the ride heights do need a little bit of adjustment still, and there's something I always follow, a little rule I always follow when it comes to setting the ride heights. Yeah, thought you might like that one. It's it's something I seen once and I thought that's absolutely brilliant. It pretty much sums it up. Well guys, as you'll have just seen, now that the car back down on its wheels, I'm now actually 6 days later from that day that we fitted the wheels, and it's absolutely bucketing down outside. Typical Cumbrian weather. Anyways, I don't know if it'll show up very well on the video, but if I get the camera down, you'll see that it's got an absolute insane amount of negative camber, especially on this front driver's side wheel. Both have got a lot of camber, but this has slightly more. And that is with the both bottom negative, that's with both bottom adjustable track control arms screwed right in. And we've still got that major negative camber, and apparently this is the reason. Now I've severely lowered the car to try and get it level with the back. The front cross member is actually only 40mm from the floor. It's nothing at all. It's really low on the front. And I've spoken to Sammy at GS Escorts, because they do these builds a lot more than I do. As I keep saying, I'm not an expert. This is my first classic Escort build, so I don't profess to know everything. I always go to people that I know have got more experience and more knowledge than I have at times with certain things, just for advice. And Sammy's told me that I've got it so far too low on the front. So the gap here, I wanted it to be the same as the back, because I'm all about stance. I love a nice low car. I love small wheel gaps. But unfortunately, I can't have it on the front, and the problem being the bubble arch on the front is higher up. The arch line is actually higher up in the body than the back. I don't know if that shows up very well on camera, which means the back wheels, you can get a nice tight gap, but at the front, when I look at pictures, pretty much all Mk1s have a bigger gap at the front here, and I've lowered it that much that I've actually brought the bottom arm out perfectly straight, so it's pushing the bottom of the wheel out and giving me a ridiculous negative camber. Now I could fit adjustable top mounts to bring that back into alignment, but the problem I would have then is I'm going to start exaggerating the issues I've got with the wheels catching. I'm going to go into the wheel catch shortly. I've got a couple of ideas for it, but I need to bring the bottom of that wheel in to try and reduce the amount that wheel's catching. So all I can do there is heighten the car. I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to get on with some other jobs today, but unfortunately I am going to have to heighten the front a little bit, and I was wanting to keep it this low. To be fair, it's probably not very practical to keep it that low, because I reckon if that cross member came across a speed hump, which it will do at some point, it would probably cause severe damage because it's so low. So yeah, I am unfortunately going to have to lift the front of the car up a bit. As it is now, the back is actually 30mm lower than the front. So if I bring it up to somewhere near level, that shouldn't be too far out, I'm hoping. And if I have to make some adjustments to try and bring the tracking in, I'll do that. My original thought was to drill a new hole in the cross member to bring the track control arm inwards, but I'm told that would cause severe bump steer, so I'm not going to do any silly modifications to the suspension. It's getting left as it is, and anything I change will be minimal. So yeah, I need to bring that camber back into where it needs to be, and then hopefully sort out the issues of the wheels catching, but I'll get onto that shortly. So on Tuesday, when I got paid, I bought all sorts of parts, and it's now Friday afternoon, and this is all that came. I'm kind of hoping the rest coming today. I think 1 or 2 bits is. But yeah, let's get the wipers fitted. This is just another little job. I'm kind of down to the nitty-gritty stuff now. Quite a lot of what will be coming up will be nitty-gritty until I get it running. So yeah, let's get this little job out the way. Before and after. Sometimes it's the little things that make the big differences. Another little update is the fitment of the ashtray in the middle of the dash. That came from GS Escorts last weekend there. So that's just another tiny little job I've just been getting on with now. And this is the next tiny little job, which is to fit the rear view mirror. This, as you've seen earlier, I think I showed you, this was it was like blue in colour almost. It needed a good clean up. So I've basically brought that back to bare metal. I dropped that in some thinners and left it. I've primed it, satin black. That now looks like new. We've got a brand new mirror. That's absolutely brand spanking new. I've got all the bits to mount it. So yeah, let's get the rear view mirror mounted. The only thing I'm missing is the little rubber cup that sucks to the windscreen. I'll have to get one of them. That's the only thing I don't have. And another absolutely huge job out the way. Fitment of the rear view mirror. All I need now, obviously, as I said before, is a little rubber pad that goes on the little pin in behind there to suck to the windscreen. I don't have one as yet, but yeah, that's another tiny job out the way. Another step closer. I'm rattling myself through loads of little jobs at the minute, you know, like you've just seen with the wipers, the rear view mirror, just little odds and sods. It all brings the car together. For those of you who have been watching the channel long enough, you'll remember a couple of episodes ago, in fact it's a good few episodes ago now, we had a right smashing time with this window. Basically, when I closed the door, this window smashed, and the reason for that being, when I fitted the runner to the bottom of the glass, I crimped it onto the glass too much, and I think it put a little airline clack in the glass. And when I shut the window completely shattered and dropped down into the door, down the front. It was a horrible moment, and I finally got round to fitting the new window. That now fits perfect. I've done it differently this time. What I've done to fit the runner onto the glass, as per advice from Sammy from GS Escorts, they always use seam sealer because it's an adhesive as well, tiger seal, seam sealer. And basically you seal the runner onto the bottom of the glass, and not only does that get a good hold, but it also stops water seeping in between and rotting your runner at the bottom. So it's a great idea, that is. It's a fantastic idea. It means you don't have to crimp the runner onto the glass, so you know you haven't damaged your glass. So we've got the new glass in. It's now all in. It operates. I've started doing the membrane as I did on the other side. All I've got to do is fit the rod that goes between here and the lock mechanism, and then I can get the door card on. So that's the next little job. That rod should be here tomorrow, and then I can get that door fully built up and finished. But that one now shuts spot on as well, without breaking the window, which is always a positive. So yeah, another little job out of the way. And that is the car fully watertight as it happens. As I said with the wheels, it's the first time I've had the car down the wheels in the whole time I've owned it. Well, this is the first time it's had all the glass in all the time I've owned it, because it had no doors on when I got it. So yeah, that's good. At least now I can keep the dust out the interior when I'm working away in the garage. It's nice to see it all buttoned up. If it was to be left outside now, it should theoretically stay dry inside. But we all know what classics are like for leaking in, so that probably isn't the case. But as I keep saying, if this gets wet, it'll be very, very rare. It'll be a very rare occasion that this car ever gets wet, because it's basically going to be a summer car, a shore car, and a bit of fun. In fact, a lot of fun. Little bit of improvision here. I've looked everywhere for one of these rods to open the door. I've asked GS Escorts a few times and they've never had any in. And I've looked on eBay to no avail. And I decided, sod it. They cannot be hard to make at all. These have got to be very, very easy to make. So I measured the hole, 4mm diameter. I've got a metre of 4mm steel rod from eBay for about £8 delivered. And that's took about 10 minutes to make. It's simply got one bend in there where it goes through the mechanism, comes across, through the clip, bends down at a slight angle, and then it's got again a little loop on the end to go through the door lock mechanism, and that operates absolutely perfectly. So sometimes if you can't get some of these parts, sometimes it is just as easy to make them yourself. That's a prime example. That was really, really easy. As I say, it took about 10 minutes, but now it means I can get that final piece of film on to cover that section, which I've already cut to shape, and then I can get the door card on, and that's another little bit of the interior a bit closer to completion. And there we go, up to the same stage as the other side that I covered in previous videos. That is now all built up and everything's working as it should. It's amazing how just a little touch like that can make such a big difference to the interior of the car. Again, as per the other side, the handles aren't the best. They do have some little bits of pitting in that I could do with some better ones, if I'm honest. I probably will search for some better handles as time goes by. Whenever I come across any at an auto jumble, I'll just grab them. But yeah, that's just another little progress we've made today. So a few people have asked in the comments just exactly how these valves work. So I thought I'd take a little bit of time just to show you exactly how they work, because this is the actual valve to blow your tyre up. So basically, all you do, you take a screwdriver and you release the little cap in the wheel. That's just a little aluminium cap with a thread on and a rubber seal, which has the same thread as the valve. You insert the valve, screw the valve in, it's only 2 turns or so, and there you go. And basically, the little pin in the centre there acts just like a normal valve. If I push the centre, as you can hear, it releases the air. So you add your air compressor, your pipe onto the valve as you would on any wheel, and blow your tyre up. And then as soon as you're finished, you basically unscrew the valve, put the little cap back in. The problem with these little valves are there's no thread on the top, so some pumps have a threaded type valve pipe that screws on, and you can't use them with this valve. You can only use the air type, the type that's used on the compressors in garages, where you hold the valve on tight. That's the only type you can really use with these valves, which is probably one of the few downsides. But yeah, that's probably the only downside. They're fantastic. I think they're an absolutely fantastic idea, because once you put your little cap back in, you've got a concealed valve. It's not standing out like a sore thumb. There's no issues of valves getting snapped out or anything. It's just a nice, neat solution to what is only a very small problem, I suppose, but it's a really nice solution to it, I think. And the final little bit of progress for this episode is the fitment of the new steering rack. It's not finished yet. It's got new track rod ends, as you can see. It does need fitted to the arms and the tracking set, which is this weekend's job, which I'll cover in the next episode. But that is the new steering rack fitted with new clamps, new rubbers, and like I say, it's a brand new steering rack as well. So we shouldn't have any issues there for many years. So yeah, that's just another little job I've got on with just the last few days. Well guys, I'm going to leave that video here. I haven't finished fitting the wheels properly yet. As I've mentioned before, we've still got to do the camber and the tracking. I'm going to cover that in the next video. And another thing is, we do have some slight catching issues. And although a lot of people will hate me for this, because I hate myself for it, but I've got no choice other than to cut out a very, very small amount of the lip on the front bubble. I've tried everything to get round the issue, and this is the problem when you don't do a dry build. The best way to build a car up, if you've got the money and the space, is to build the full car up as it would be done before it goes into paint, so it's fully built up in primer, and then you can make any final adjustments, you can cut, you can do everything so that when the car comes out of paint it all bolts together as it should. I've never done it that way. I'll explain why. Basically, when you have a car in confined space like this, I haven't exactly got the biggest room to work in, you've got all your nice new parts bolted to a shelf that you're still welding and grinding on. So you've got new wheels, you've got new glass, all the rest of it. It's not ideal to have all that nice new parts in an environment where you've got sparks and dust and they're going to get wrecked. So I always build the car up with the bonnet, boot and doors on. You've got to do that. You really can't build a car without putting the bonnet, boot and doors on. I spent many hours getting the lines on this car as nice as they are now. You know, you've got to spend a lot of time building up the edge of the wings in a lot of areas to get them just right, and that can't be done after paint obviously. But things like the wheels, I never ever do the fitment until it's out of paint. If I had done, we wouldn't have this issue now. But unfortunately, we are where we are, and I am going to have to do a slight modification to the front lip on the wing. The back one is very close. It just needs a very light tweak on the lip, which I can do that without damaging the paint. But yeah, a lot of people have also said about why didn't I go for mini lights, and I do love the mini lights, and the reason I didn't go for the mini lights is these are a very close copy of the original RS wheel. I mean, as it is an RS2000, I thought it would be nice to have that nod of originality. Now, I'm not one of these people that are all about originality. I will never build a car in my life 100% original, because although I respect the people who do go down that route, everyone's got their own ways, I just feel that there's better products today than there was in the 60s, the 70s and the 80s. And if you can improve the car without changing or spoiling the way it looks, but you make it better to drive, nicer to drive, more smooth, bring it into the 21st century but still have that retro look, then why wouldn't you? That's just a perfect combination for me. So, you know, these are such a close replica of the original wheel that it gives that nod of originality, and that's the exact reason why I went for RS wheels. So yeah, in the next video guys, you'll see the stance being set properly, and as I said earlier in this episode is going to be a lot of itty bitty stuff. Sorry, the next one will be a lot of itty bitty stuff. There's a lot of little areas to just complete now, fuel pump, all that kind of thing. You know, there's loads of little areas I just need to finish and get it ready to fight for the final startup. So that'll be the next big one, is getting the car running. So yeah, I really do look forward to that and hearing the beautiful noise from that Simpsons exhaust and them Omex throttle bodies. I think it'll be immense. So yeah, if you want to see that coming up guys, just keep watching out for updates. So thanks very much for watching as always guys, and I'll see you very shortly.